What if I told you that you could make $1 million in 24 hours, even if today you are buried in debt, with no savings, no assets, no family connections, no wealthy friends to lend a hand? What if I told you that you could cross from poverty into prosperity faster than the clock strikes its next cycle? Even if you have failed in business, wasted years drifting, and find yourself now with nothing to show but regret? You would call me extreme. You would laugh in disbelief. You would whisper to yourself, "It cannot be so." But I tell you, I have seen fortunes turn in a single day. I have witnessed wealth rush toward a man as sudden as a storm, while his neighbor waited decades in vain. And I say to you now, it is not chance, it is not accident, it is not luck, it is law. A law hidden from the multitude because they would rather mock than obey. A law the rich will never shout from the rooftops because they know most men will not pay the price of definiteness. You are thinking, how? How could this be? Do not rush. If I were to give you the answer in one word, you would dismiss it as too simple, too unbelievable. That is why I will not hand you the treasure in a sentence. I will walk you into it law by law, until your own mind cannot escape the conclusion. By the end of this speech, you will not only believe that great wealth can arrive in 24 hours, you will know why and how. But before I show you, let me place a warning before your eyes. If you treat this as mere entertainment, if you drift while you listen, if you take these words as inspiration but not as command, you will gain nothing. You will walk away exactly as you came, poor, doubtful, waiting for someday. This law does not honor the lazy. It bows only to the definite. Think of this. Why does one man remain stuck for 30 years in the same misery, while another secures his fortune in a single day? Why does one man accumulate nothing but bills and disappointment, while another walks into opportunity as though it were prepared for him alone? The difference is not education, not inheritance, not connections. It is something far greater, far more mysterious, and far more available to you than to the men who pretend to be your betters. Frank W. Gonzalez discovered it when he stood in his pulpit and declared, "What I would do if I had $1 million." He had no million, no wealthy allies, no earthly reason to expect that his words would be answered. Yet within 24 hours, the fortune was his, not because of chance, but because his words carried definiteness, desire, faith, and decision. He preached as though the money were already in his hands, and by morning the world had obeyed him. This is the law you are about to hear. The law that riches flee from vagueness and leap toward definiteness. The law that time itself bends when desire burns white hot. The law that money, already in circulation, is drawn to the man who commands it with purpose. You will not hear this in schools. You will not hear this from the mouths of the rich, but you will hear it here. So listen carefully as though your future depends upon it, because it does. For the next few minutes, let every other thought fall away. Hold nothing but this question in your mind. What if I too could awaken tomorrow on the road to fortune? By the end of this speech, that question will no longer be fantasy. It will be a command you can issue, if you will. Introduction. The hour hand of riches obeys fire. You ask me how soon riches will answer your call. I tell you plainly, wealth comes at the speed of your burning desire, and not one moment sooner. Men wait on years, on seasons, on fortune, while the law of riches waits on them. If a man sets his heart aflame with such intensity that his thought becomes command, the world of causes bends swiftly, sometimes in years, sometimes in days, sometimes in hours. This law is not theory, it is record. I have seen fortunes move with the suddenness of a storm after months of stillness. The timid call it luck, but the honest student knows it as the sudden reward of desire that at last reached the heat of command. When the heart burns white hot, time itself contracts. What would take decades to the wavering may take a night to the definite. Let me show you this truth through the story of Frank W. Gonsalves, a young minister in Chicago. He announced a sermon with the daring title, "What I Would Do If I Had $1 Million." He did not mount the pulpit as a beggar hoping for alms. He spoke as one who already held the key. His words carried no timidity, no speculation. They carried decision. He painted a vision of a school where young men would be trained to think and to work in the same hour, where education would not be theory without practice, nor practice without philosophy. He spoke as though the $1 million were already in his hands, as though the brick and mortar already stood, as though the voices of grateful students already rang in its halls. The next morning, a messenger came from Philip D. Armour, the great packer. "Young man," Armour said, "if you will put your sermon into deeds, you shall have your $1 million." And from that decision was born the Armour Institute of Technology. Do not miss the lesson. One definite desire declared with fire drew $1 million overnight. What steps brought that $1 million? First, a purpose written in the heart so clearly it could not be mistaken. Second, a mind heated by faith until every word carried authority. Third, a plan spoken so vividly that listeners saw it. Fourth, the courage to speak as one who commands, not as one who begs. With those 4 steps, the $1 million was not chased, it arrived. Men ask me, can wealth truly come in 24 hours? I say, if 30 years of drifting still chain you, do not quarrel with the clock, quarrel with the drift. Yet know this, when desire reaches the heat of command, fortunes do indeed arrive with astonishing speed. Many men have awakened one morning poor and lain down at night rich, for they finally decided. You must learn to distinguish wishing from desiring. Wishes are smoke, desire is fire. Wishes drift with idle talk. Desire fixes its eyes, burns in silence, and moves the limbs to action. Frank Gonsalves did not wish. He declared. Armour did not pity. He invested. The $1 million did not stroll. It hurried, because purpose had summoned it with unmistakable fire. Understand this law. Wealth is not drawn by chance, but by definiteness. Riches are timid around the wavering. They leap toward the bold. The money you seek is already employed by someone else. It will change hands when you prove the stronger master. The purse of the world is not scattered at random. It flows to order, to clarity, to strength. Do not waste your breath on luck. Luck is the name weak men give to the harvest of definite men. When you hear a rich man shrug, I was fortunate, look behind him. You will see ledgers of definite figures, pages of plans, councils of allies, records of services rendered before reward. He speaks of fortune because he knows the crowd will not believe in method, but method is what crowned him. And now you would know the method. Here are the 7 rules that, when obeyed together, form the band success formula. They will sound like iron to ears softened by drift, but to the ready they are keys to command. Use one without the others and you will limp. Use all together and you will run. Before you take the first step, bind yourself to a vow. Say aloud, I will no longer drift. I will write my purpose. I will heed it with faith. I will bind myself by decision. I will plan and move. I will enlist allied minds. I will give more than I am paid, and I will insist upon results. That vow is your passport across the border that separates drifters from masters. Ask me again how soon wealth can arrive, and I answer with the story you have just heard. The distance between want and wealth was one night's sleep. The sermon was not magic. It was definiteness with heat. The same law is waiting upon you now. If your desire is lukewarm, do not accuse the law. Kindle your fire, and the hour hand itself will hurry. Rule 1. Write the decree. The world obeys definiteness. Wealth begins not in vaults, but on paper. The first act of a master is to put his purpose into writing. The drifting man talks in clouds. The definite man writes in stone. Take your pen and decree the exact sum you will possess, the date by which it will be yours, and the service you shall give in return. A man who will not write will not reign. Paper without ink is the birthplace of drifting. You may speak with zeal, you may dream with fervor, but until you write, you have not yet commanded yourself. Kings of industry first became kings of a page. Rockefeller wrote his figures before he moved oil. Carnegie wrote capacities before he forged steel. Ford sketched lines of motion before machines marched. Writing is creation's first discipline. Do not think it childish to write sums and dates. Money is timid around vague men, bold with the bold. If you write with clarity, you impress your own subconscious and send forth an order that infinite intelligence can translate into circumstance. Money that is not assigned wanders. Money that has a master's order hastens to serve. Name the uses for your money. The subconscious does not obey mist, but image. Write what it will buy, what service it will fund, what gift it will make. If you write, I shall acquire $50,000 by December 31st through organizing a sales company to distribute, you have struck the law with precision. Vagueness begets vagueness. Clarity begets clarity. Each morning and night, read your decree aloud. Do not mumble as one ashamed. Speak as a herald of your own destiny. Your subconscious responds not to idle words, but to repeated declarations soaked in emotion. Words clothed in heat are seeds. They fall into the deep soil of the mind, and there they root, bloom, and return as ideas, allies, and opportunities. Timid men reap timid harvests. They speak as though half afraid their words will be overheard by doubt. Speak as one who commands, not as one who begs. Speak with thanksgiving, as though the decree were already honored. Gratitude before possession is faith's signature. It convinces the subconscious that the wealth exists, and then it begins to arrange the evidence. Consider Edwin C. Barnes. He wrote his decree not on paper, but on his very life. He declared, "I will be business associate to Thomas A. Edison." He did not say, "I hope to work for him." He said, "I will work with him." His appearance was shabby, his pockets empty, yet his decree was rich. In time, his body walked into the office where his imagination had long sat. The decree preceded the desk. Barnes's pen was his will. His ink was his determination. He spoke his partnership into existence by wearing it in thought, declaring it in desire, and backing it in persistence. The drifting young men around him sought wages. Barnes sought decree, and the decree obeyed him. Let me give you an affirmation for this law. Speak it with firmness. I decree my wealth with definiteness. My pen is law. My tongue is command. My subconscious obeys. Infinite intelligence supplies. Opportunity appears. I act. I do not drift. I write. I decide. I persist. My decree is the mold into which my fortune is poured. Repeat it until you feel it steel. You will be tempted to bury your decree under the vague shelter of someday. That is fear clothed as prudence. Do not permit it. If the date proves too ambitious, you may adjust the clock, but never adjust the definiteness. A moving hand on the calendar does not break the law, but a fogged decree dissolves into nothing. Better to err with bold precision than to rot in haze. Every empire of wealth began with a line on paper. Rockefeller wrote down figures before oil became empire. Carnegie jotted plans of capacity before furnaces roared. Ford drew diagrams of motion before wheels turned. A decree is prophecy in uniform. The world does not bow to dreams unspoken. It bows to written laws of men who refuse to drift. Guard your decree from idle chatter. Do not parade it before doubters who will sow seeds of mockery. It is your law, not theirs. Show them results, not sentences. The decree is a covenant between your conscious will and your subconscious power. Treat it with reverence. When the harvest comes, critics will say, "You are fortunate." You will know you are definite. The act of writing is not mere ritual. It is command in visible form. Your eyes behold your words, your lips rehearse them, your mind absorbs them. Each sense is enlisted until the decree saturates your being. That saturation is faith. Faith is the magnet. The decree is the pole. Wealth is the iron. Once aligned, the attraction is inevitable. Say it again. My decree is my law. My pen is my throne. My words are my command. My fortune obeys me because I am definite. I am not a drifter. I am a master. I write, I speak, I act, and I persist. My decree precedes my riches, and my riches follow my decree. Barnes proved it. Rockefeller proved it. Carnegie proved it. You must now prove it. Take your pen, write, fix your sum, fix your date, fix your service, fix your plan, then speak morning and night. Carry it until your limbs obey it, until your mind sees it, until your life reveals it. This is the first law. Write the decree. The world obeys definiteness. Rule 2. Ignite the furnace. Desire until the air burns. A decree written cold is a winter sun, light without heat. It gives no harvest. Desire is the flame that turns the decree into a living law. Until your purpose becomes burning desire, it is a wish. Wishes are weak, but desire is fierce. When your heart is set aflame, the world bends, men respond, and opportunities hasten as though ordered by a general. Drifting men say, "I would like to be rich," but their words carry no heat, and so nothing moves. But when a man declares, "I must be rich, I will serve, I will persist, I will pay any lawful price," that fire leaps into his step, sharpens his mind, and draws allies. Desire is not passive, it is active fire, and the fire itself creates its fortune. Recall Frank W. Gonzalez and his $1,000,000 sermon. He did not beg, "If I had $1,000,000, perhaps I could." He set the room aflame with a vision of a school. His desire was so vivid that Philip D. Armour felt its heat from his seat. Armour supplied the $1,000,000 not from pity, but from certainty. He saw a man already in possession of the desire. This is the secret. The world does not respond to empty wishes. It responds to burning certainty. Gonzalez spoke as though the school already stood. Armour invested in fire, not in frailty. One sermon, one white-hot desire, and $1,000,000 appeared. That is the furnace. The desire itself is the magnet, the heat, and the proof. How then do you kindle such fire? Begin by seeing your aim with every sense awake. Picture what it looks like. Hear what it will sound like. Feel what it will bring. Count the cost you will pay, and count the blessings it will deliver. The subconscious mind is moved by vivid images. Lukewarm, vague fancies leave it cold. Tie your desire to service greater than yourself. The heart burns fiercest when it blesses others. Armour gave his $1,000,000 not because of Gonzalez's need, but because of his vision to train youth. If your desire fattens only your belly, the soul will grow weary. But if your desire builds, blesses, and uplifts, infinite intelligence lends its fire. Desire transforms you into a magnet. You will notice books, men, and occasions moving toward you as iron filings to a charge. This is not witchcraft. It is the natural law of a mind finally definite. Desire gives off a fragrance. Buyers, helpers, investors catch it. Cold thought has no fragrance, but desire makes the air burn with conviction. Say with me, "I permit no lukewarm thought. My desire is fire. It heats my word, quickens my step, and hardens my will. That heat draws men, money, and means. I deserve wealth because I serve greatly. I require wealth because my purpose is large. Desire is my furnace. I stoke it morning and night." Guard your flame. Every day has chillers, idle company, foolish jest, words of fear and news of ruin. They are buckets of water upon your furnace. Keep close to men and books that fan your fire. Keep far from those who wet your wood. Desire grows not only by fuel, but by protection. A furnace covered with ash loses its heat. Barnes kept his fire alive for years before Edison saw it. 5 years he labored in humble posts, yet in his mind the fire never dimmed. He was already Edison's partner in thought long before the contract arrived. A weak desire would have grown cold. His burning desire made the years serve as fuel until the furnace broke open the door. Desire must be written, spoken, and guarded, but above all it must be felt. Without emotion, the decree is brittle. With emotion, it glows like steel. The subconscious mind answers emotion more quickly than reason. You must therefore feel your wealth before you hold it, see it before you touch it, live it in your spirit before you live it in your home. Repeat again, my desire burns like fire. I feel it, I live it, I command it. I attract men, means, and moments because I am aflame with purpose. I do not wish, I desire. I do not hope, I decide. My furnace glows, my destiny approaches. The timid will call you obsessed. Let them. Obsession with drifting is ruin. Obsession with definiteness is triumph. Every man who altered history was consumed by his desire. Lincoln desired unity, though the nation bled. Edison desired light, though the night mocked him 10,000 times. Ford desired wheels in every home, though experts laughed. Each kept the furnace burning. So must you. Let desire consume hesitation, devour excuses, and melt fear. Each time you speak, stoke the fire. Each time you plan, throw on more fuel. Each time you act, watch the flames leap higher. Wealth is timid with cold men. Wealth hurries toward the hot. Ignite your furnace until the air itself burns. Rule 3. Speak the law. Auto-suggestion that turns brass into gold. Thought is a soldier, but words are the trumpet that sends it marching. You may think strongly, but until you speak, your thought has not yet become command. The subconscious mind does not argue with you. It accepts the voice of authority. And the only authority it recognizes is the word repeated with faith and emotion, spoken as law, never as chance. Auto-suggestion is the channel through which desire and decree are carried into the subconscious. It is the means by which thought becomes flesh, the law becomes deed. The rich practice it daily, though they rarely name it. They repeat their decrees, they affirm their power, they picture their goal while speaking it. Brass thoughts are transmuted into gold actions through this steady repetition. Each morning, upon rising, take your written decree in hand. Read it aloud as one who issues orders to an army. Do not murmur as one doubtful. Stand firm, speak slow, feel every word. Say the sum, the date, the service, the blessing. Each night, before rest, repeat it again until your subconscious accepts it as a completed fact and begins to arrange the evidence in your life. Edison commanded his mind in this way. He did not sit waiting for inspiration like a beggar. He told his inner shop what to deliver, then went to work. He spoke to his subconscious with definiteness. I will produce light. Though thousands of failures came, the inner shop kept producing ideas until at last the decree was fulfilled. Say with me, I see the sum. I name the service. I declare the date. I bless the ones who will be served. I am calm. I am grateful. I am certain. My decree is done. The evidence comes to me. I act as though I already possess it. I walk as one whose order is fulfilled. Speak it until your tongue feels like a king's scepter. Do not hurry these words. Let them drop into your mind like seeds into black soil. Too many rush through affirmations as though they were chores. The subconscious does not respond to hurried sound. It responds to steady, heated declaration. Feel the decree. Speak with thanksgiving in advance. Gratitude is faith with work clothes on. It convinces the subconscious the harvest is already yours. Remember, faith and emotion are the heat. Words spoken cold are brass. Words spoken hot become gold. When you speak with passion, your subconscious accepts. When you speak with certainty, infinite intelligence responds. The inner court goes to work silently, gathering allies, arranging meetings, bringing insights, showing paths you had not seen before. But beware errors. Do not boast to the crowd. Do not scatter your decree before doubters. Public boasting is vanity, not auto-suggestion. Gossiping your plan weakens it. Speak inwardly, not outwardly. Prove your law by action, not chatter. Men will help the worker, but they will laugh at the talker. The flower does not shout while it is seed. It works silently until it blooms. Barnes, before his partnership with Edison, repeated to himself daily that he was Edison's business associate. He had no proof, no contract, no wage worth mentioning, but his tongue rehearsed the decree until his subconscious believed it. His actions then aligned with it, and one day Edison gave him the chance. Brass thought had been turned into gold fact. Say again, my word is law to me. I obey my decree. My subconscious accepts and supplies. Infinite intelligence aligns with me. I do not doubt. I do not drift. I speak, I feel, I act, and I persist. My words are the trumpet. My mind is the army. My decree is the campaign, and my victory is certain. Do not underestimate repetition. The subconscious obeys habit, not whim. If you speak once, it barely notices. If you speak daily, morning and night with fire, it engraves the order as law. The engraving is permanent. Once engraved, the subconscious cannot resist delivering. Many call this law mystical. It is only obedience to habit. Gratitude seals the process. Thank God in advance. Thank Him as though the harvest were already delivered. This act of thanksgiving is not empty. It is evidence of faith. The subconscious translates it as fact. Infinite intelligence reads it as certainty. The universe loves the man who gives thanks before he receives. Such a man never waits long for proof. Now, take this drill. For 7 nights before bed, close your eyes, speak your decree aloud, picture yourself in possession of it, and feel gratitude for it. Keep a record of any ideas, names, or insights that come to you upon waking. Many fortunes have begun as dawn thoughts, planted by the seeds of nighttime auto-suggestion. Your fortune waits on your obedience. The timid call this self-hypnosis. The wise call it command. You are not fooling yourself when you speak. You are training yourself. You are feeding the furnace of desire, engraving the order in your inner shop, instructing the workers who never sleep. This is how brass thought is hammered into golden fact. Rule 4, lend me your wings, the mastermind that doubles your power. No man becomes a tycoon by the solitary power of his own brain. One mind, however strong, is limited. 2 or more minds, united in harmony and bound to a definite purpose, generate a third invisible mind greater than all. This is the mastermind principle. It is the private secret of the wealthy, the wings that lifted them above ordinary men. When minds meet in discord, nothing happens but quarrel. When minds meet in harmony, a current flows, ideas multiply, courage deepens, and power gathers. It is like striking flint against steel, sparks leap. The mastermind is not mere partnership, it is fusion. It is not conversation, it is creation. It is the law that multiplies human energy into fortune. Andrew Carnegie admitted openly that his fortune would have been impossible without this law. He surrounded himself with men more skilled than himself. Schwab brought boldness, Gary brought order, others brought knowledge. Alone they were strong. Together they became a magnet that pulled iron from the earth and gold from the markets. That invisible mind among them multiplied every stroke. Charles Schwab was lifted by this law. He was not the most brilliant engineer nor the wealthiest investor, but his energy, his ability to unite men in harmony, his knack for keeping a room electric made him indispensable. Carnegie once said Schwab's faith and fire added millions to the coffers. That was the mastermind at work, two men combining into something greater. Do not confuse this law with ordinary alliances. Many sit in meetings where envy, fear, and vanity choke the air. That is not mastermind, that is drift. To create a mastermind, the air must be clean, the aim must be definite, and the members must unite with harmony. Discord drains, harmony charges. How then do you assemble such a power? Choose men and women who are strong in knowledge, firm in character, and definite in purpose. Character first, knowledge second. A crooked mind will bend the beam of the entire group. One envious spirit can poison the well. Better a few in harmony than a multitude in discord. Hold regular councils. Begin each with the decree, the definite aim. Place obstacles on the table, not as walls, but as drafts to be improved. Invite criticism that is clean, not cruel. Keep vanity outside. Record decisions as law. Each member departs with a task. When you meet again, proofs are laid down. This rhythm forges power. Say with me, we meet in harmony for a definite purpose. Our minds unite. A greater mind presides. We give more than we take. We speak with faith. We decide with clarity. We depart with action. Discord cannot dwell among us. Harmony is our music. Success is our song. Speak this in every gathering until it becomes law. History records the fruits of such councils. The creation of United States Steel was not the work of one man. It was the product of minds united. Carnegie's vision, Schwab's fire, Morgan's capital, Gary's discipline. The master mind was present, and iron became the backbone of a nation. The scale of that fortune was equal to the scale of harmony. Edison himself, though a genius, depended on a master mind. His laboratory was not a lonely room, but a hive. He gathered assistants, thinkers, craftsmen, each contributing. Edison provided the vision, but the harmony of many minds built the reality. His genius was magnified by their union. He lent them his wings, they lent him theirs, and together they flew. Affirm this: I do not walk alone, I choose allies of faith, character, and skill. We meet in harmony, we act in definiteness, we persist in unity. Out of our meeting arises a mind greater than ours. That mind serves our aim, strengthens our courage, multiplies our ideas, and hastens our fortune. We are not drifters, we are creators. Do not mistake isolation for strength. The lone wolf starves, the flock thrives. The rich guard this secret because they know most men will not pay the price of harmony. Envy is easier than cooperation. Pride is easier than submission. But the man who masters himself enough to unite with others in harmony is the man who multiplies his wings. Your mastermind may begin small, 2 men meeting weekly. Do not despise it. 2 minds united sincerely can draw upon infinite intelligence. Begin where you are. Choose carefully. Meet faithfully. Keep harmony. Keep definiteness. Keep records. Watch how swiftly courage rises, plans multiply, and opportunities appear. That is the invisible hand of the master mind. Say again, we lend each other wings. Our harmony multiplies power. Our definiteness directs it. Our persistence sustains it. Our success proves it. Rule 5. Spend the day before you earn it. Go the extra mile this hour. The world pays most men only once by wage, but the man who will be wealthy is paid twice. Once by his present purse, and again by the treasure his extra service buys. To render more and better service than you are paid for is the arithmetic of greatness. It is the seed law. No man who obeys it can remain poor, for the shadow of service is always reward. You cannot escape this law, whether you serve grudgingly or royally. If you serve with stingy effort, the shadow is poverty. If you serve with abundance, the shadow is wealth. The poor refuse this truth because it demands faith. They say, I will do more when I am paid more, but the rich discovered, I am paid more when I do more. Think of F.W. Woolworth. Before his chain of stores covered America, he was a clerk who swept floors. But he swept with care, watched customers, studied their desires. His extra service purchased tomorrow's counters. That dust on his broom was gold in disguise. His employer paid him a wage. The law of service paid him a fortune. Edwin C. Barnes, before he signed a contract with Edison, did the humble tasks others despised. He carried papers, fetched supplies, learned the machines, but he did them with the pride of a partner, not the complaint of a servant. His extra service proved his decree. Edison gave him the chance not because he begged, but because he demonstrated fitness through service beyond pay. Render more than you are paid for, and you are proving faith. You are declaring, I believe so fully in my future reward that I can afford to sow now. Faith without this act is pretense. Faith clothed in service is irresistible. Employers, investors, buyers, they all recognize this silent proof. Extra service is the advertisement of destiny. Say with me, I am paid by 2 masters, today's purse and tomorrow's treasure. I serve both. I give without counting. I do more than is asked, better than is required. Reward follows me like a shadow. I cannot escape it. I do not wait to be paid to serve. I serve, and therefore I am paid. The poor scoff at this, for they see only the short term. They believe giving extra is waste. But the wealthy know that the law never fails. Every extra seed finds soil. Every seed becomes harvest. The time of reaping may vary, but the certainty is fixed. Riches have no choice but to follow one who continually sows more than he harvests. Do not confuse this law with slavery. It is not about surrendering yourself to be abused. It is about giving quality, diligence, imagination, and care above the common measure. It is about surprising those you serve, improving their lot, delighting their mind, exceeding expectation. This enlarges you, trains you, and plants in the soil of tomorrow. Practical drill. Choose 3 beneficiaries today: an employer, a client, a partner. Write 1 bold improvement you can deliver for each. Act on it without announcement. Let the service speak. Record what happens. Repeat this for 7 days. You will see with your own eyes how swiftly unseen doors begin to open. Henry Ford built his empire upon this law. He paid men higher wages than his rivals, gave them better working conditions, and in return demanded efficiency. He went the extra mile for them, and they for him. The result was loyalty, speed, and profit multiplied. His motor cars carried the stamp of service beyond wage, and the world rewarded him without end. The extra mile is the toll road most men will not take. It is steep at the start, but smooth thereafter. At first it feels unrewarded, but in time you realize you have left the crowd far behind. There is little competition on the extra mile, for fear keeps most men on the ordinary road. If you will persist, riches will have no place to go but into your hands. Say again, I am the man of extra service. I do not count the minutes. I do not whine for wage before I work. I plant richly, therefore I harvest richly. My service is greater than my pay. Therefore, my pay must soon equal my service. I cannot be denied, for I cannot be stopped. I go the extra mile this hour. Every page of history proves it. Rockefeller gave service in organization that far exceeded the crude trade of his day. Carnegie built systems of steel stronger than any then imagined. Schwab offered enthusiasm, drive, and loyalty far beyond his salary. Each man was paid more than any of his generation because each gave more. The arithmetic never fails. Let today be the day you stop measuring narrowly. Stop asking, what is in it for me now? Begin asking, what can I add that will multiply later? Each improvement, each extra care, each added value is a coin placed in the vault of the future. Sooner than you expect, the vault will open, and you will be astonished at the wealth your extra service purchased. Rule 6. Make friends with the clock. Decision and action in 24 hours. You have asked me, can riches truly come in a day? I answer, yes, if you will obey the law of swift decision and action. Most men are defeated not by poverty, but by delay. They postpone letters, calls, plans, and bold moves until the chance has rotted. The man who decides today and acts today has harnessed time as his ally. The drifter treats time as enemy. The master makes it servant. Decision is the door through which destiny enters. Indecision is drift. When you hesitate, you leave the door wide for fear, doubt, and chance. Henry Ford listened to engineers who declared his V8 motor impossible. He did not appoint a committee to study impossibility. He decided, produce it anyway. His decision shortened time, compressed years into months, and gave him mastery of an industry. Think of the 24 hours before you now. You may waste them on worry, drift, and idle chatter, or you may compress them into a lever that moves your life. In one day, you can write your decree, rehearse it aloud, ignite desire with vivid pictures, repeat your auto-suggestions with fire, meet or call 2 allies for your master mind, deliver 1 act of extra service, and take 1 bold step you have postponed. That day is worth a year. The timid will say, one day cannot matter. But history is built on single days. One day Gonzales preached, and Armour gave $1 million. One day Lincoln signed a decree that freed a people. One day Rockefeller closed a deal that shifted the world's oil. Riches and power respect time because they are born in the decisive hour. You must learn to act while the day is yours. List the oldest act you have delayed, a call you have feared, a plan you have postponed, a truth you have silenced. Place it first tomorrow after sunrise. Do it before breakfast if you must starve fear. The act itself will release energy, summon allies, and feed courage. Delay is death to faith. Decision is life to faith. Say with me, I trade 24 hours for momentum. I decide now. I act now. I do not drift. I do not wait. The world respects speed when speed serves quality. I step into rooms my doubt kept shut. I feed the day with deeds. The day feeds me with returns. I win the hour wins the week. Do not mistake swiftness for recklessness. Decision is not folly. It is definiteness. The reckless man acts without plan. The master decides quickly because he has already fixed his purpose. His decree guides him, his desire fuels him, his auto-suggestions command him, his master mind supports him, his extra service proves him. Decision is the natural fruit of definiteness. Think of your 24 hours as coins. Every moment spent in hesitation is a coin dropped into the gutter. Every moment spent in definite action is a coin invested at compound interest. The poor scatter their coins on trifles. The wealthy invest them into decisive acts. That is why the rich grow richer in the same hours the poor waste. Barnes did not drift when he saw Edison. He decided to be his partner and acted at once, though he had nothing. Rockefeller decided to buy when others feared. Carnegie decided to build when others hesitated. Each man bent the clock to his will by making it obey decision. Time will serve you if you command it. If you delay, it will bury you. Say again, the clock is my ally. I do not curse it. I do not waste it. I decide swiftly, act firmly, and persist daily. Each hour is my servant. Each act multiplies. Each day compresses years. Fear cannot rule me, for I refuse delay. The clock does not defeat me, I master it. Let tomorrow be your test. Write your decree. Speak it. Call an ally. Render extra service. Do the one act you fear most. Before 24 hours pass, you will feel a surge of energy, a sense of mastery. You will know that the law has begun to move. Make friends with the clock, and you will never again be its victim. Rule 7. Seal it in the deep, subconscious alliance with infinite intelligence. Every outer act of wealth is rooted in the inner covenant. The subconscious mind is the silent partner that never sleeps. It obeys the orders you feed it. It multiplies the seed of your words, your images, your gratitude. It draws from infinite intelligence, the invisible source of ideas, power, and circumstance. Seal your decree in the deep mind, and you have enlisted the greatest ally in existence. Understand this: the subconscious never debates. It never asks if your order is possible. It accepts. If you feed it doubt, fear, and hesitation, it engraves them as law and delivers defeat. If you feed it certainty, faith, and gratitude, it engraves those as law and delivers fortune. It is impartial. It will grow weeds as faithfully as wheat. Your duty is to guard its gate. Each night before sleep, perform your covenant. Review 3 proofs of progress from the day, however small. Speak your decree aloud with calm authority. Picture tomorrow's chief act already done. Give thanks by name for the allies, opportunities, and strength you already see. Then lie down, knowing your subconscious will labor through the night. While you rest, it dispatches unseen messengers. Many a dawn has brought solutions that seemed impossible at dusk. You have called them accidents or sudden inspirations. They were answers from the inner court. The subconscious copied your order. Infinite intelligence supplied the plan, and the solution entered your waking mind like a visitor at sunrise. Learn to expect such visitors and welcome them with gratitude. My own son, born without ears, proved this law. Doctors declared he would never hear or speak. Yet through years of faith, persistence, and suggestion, the boy learned to hear with special instruments. The decree was accepted by the subconscious long before science supplied the tool. What the inner court believes, the outer world is compelled to confirm. Guard the gate with vigilance. Do not allow cynics, gossipers, and prophets of ruin to plant their seeds in your soil. Every careless jest, every tale of failure, every doubtful word is a thief lounging in your storehouse. Protect your inner vault as you would your gold, for it is the gold behind all gold. A single hour of mockery can uproot a week of planting. Say with me, my inner court is loyal. It obeys my decree. It multiplies my faith. It rejects my doubt. It draws plans, people, and power. I sleep while it works. I rise while it guides. I am never alone. Infinite intelligence is my partner in profit, my counselor in decision, my supplier in service. Notice the whispers of the sixth sense. A sudden certainty to call a man, a phrase in a book that glows, a sentence in conversation that stirs your blood. These are often answers delivered by infinite intelligence through your subconscious. Record them. Obey them. They are the guidance you asked for the night before. Many men ignore their answers because they arrive quietly. Establish a weekly ritual of renewal. Enter solitude. Read your decree again. Count blessings received. Mend one fault. Forgive one debt. Choose one bold act for the coming week. Send one message of gratitude to an ally. This simple practice keeps the inner covenant fresh, clean, and fruitful. Neglect it, and weeds creep in. Honor it, and wealth multiplies. Say again, my inner court is sealed. I feed it only faith, definiteness, and gratitude. I deny entrance to fear, envy, and doubt. It is my loyal servant and my trusted ally. Infinite intelligence hears through it, supplies through it, and guides through it. I am at peace, for I know my covenant is kept. You must believe this. Riches are not built only in the outer shop. They are forged in the silent factory of the subconscious. That is where the plans are drawn, the courage is built, the magnetism is created. Seal your decree in the deep. Guard it daily. Trust its unseen labor. Then watch how swiftly the outer world rearranges itself to obey your inner command. Epilogue. The $1 million sermon is yours to preach. Do not make a museum of Frank Gonzalez. Do not admire him as though his story were locked in the past. Make a mirror of him. Your sermon is your decree. Your million is the wealth you demand. Your armor is the man or the circumstance waiting to feel the heat of your desire. The pulpit is whatever platform you stand upon this very day. You are not waiting for a benefactor. You are waiting for your own fire to be visible enough that men may warm their hands upon it. Armor did not give to Gonzalez because he pitied him. He gave because he saw a man already burning with certainty. The money was already prepared. It was only waiting for a vessel hot enough to receive it. In 24 hours, you can set a new orbit for your life. You can write your decree. You can ignite your desire. You can speak the law. You can gather one ally for your mastermind. You can render one act of service beyond pay. You can make one bold decision you have long postponed. You can seal your covenant in the deep. Do this, and your day will govern your destiny. If riches do not cross your threshold tomorrow, they will be on the road, walking fast. A man who moves 7 levers in a single day lengthens that day until it governs his future. The law of riches does not dally with the timid, but it hastens to meet the decisive. Speed is the reward of definiteness. Remember this, the secret the rich seldom tell is that their fortunes are not chance but method. They guard silence because the multitude mocks method and prefers to dream of luck. But now you know. Desire, definiteness, decision, persistence, service, alliance, faith, and covenant, these are the links of the band's success formula. The chain is yours to forge or yours to ignore. Say with me, I decree my wealth and serve greatly. My desire is fire. My work is proof. I decide and act. The hour obeys. I give more than I am paid. Wealth follows. My inner court is loyal. Wisdom guides me. I do not drift. I reign. These are not idle affirmations. They are law. Repeat them daily until your very cells obey them. The timid will call you obsessed. The drifters will call you lucky. The critics will call you arrogant. But results will silence them all. Fortune does not argue, it appears. The man who obeys this formula may be called many names, but he will never be called poor. Let the world prattle. You will build. The $1 million sermon is not confined to Chicago. You can preach it from your desk, from your workshop, from your farm, from your shop floor. You preach it when you declare your decree, when you ignite desire, when you command your subconscious, when you meet your allies, when you serve more than you are paid, when you decide swiftly, when you keep your inner covenant. That is your sermon. If anyone asks you how soon riches can arrive, tell them this story. One night a man preached with fire, and by morning 1,000,000 arrived. Then hand them a pen, tell them to write their decree. Tell them to heat it with desire. Tell them to repeat it until their subconscious believes it. Tell them to act within 24 hours. Then watch how swiftly the law moves. Your sermon may not yield 1,000,000 tomorrow, but it will yield the first proof: courage in your step, clarity in your mind, an ally at your side, an opportunity in your path. Each proof is a coin in the coffer of your fortune. Persist, and the vault will open. When it does, men will call it sudden. You will know it was long prepared. I charge you now, do not leave these words as inspiration. Make them your drill. Write, speak, serve, decide, ally, persist, seal. Repeat until it becomes habit. Habit becomes character. Character becomes destiny. This is the secret the rich seldom confess. They have formed habits of definiteness that the poor never attempt. The habits themselves are the wealth. Say once more, I am not a drifter. I am a master. I write, I desire, I command, I ally, I serve, I decide, I persist, I seal. I am wealthy first within, then without. The world obeys my definiteness, for I obey my own decree. Speak it until it becomes your nature. Act it until it becomes your identity. When the vault of wealth opens to you, do not be astonished. You have obeyed the law. When critics sneer and call it luck, smile and let them drift. You will be too busy commanding, serving, building. The banned formula has never been banned by God or law, only by the indolence of men. You are free to practice it. Do so, and riches will obey.